On today's show, we're going to be talking about Evercade, Microsoft, too many games, and System Shock 25th anniversary. All coming up. Yeah, you know where it's coming up. Anyway, it's coming up now. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Dadisajoke Retro Rockin' Gamer episode number 86. This is your weekend report, and it's weekend report. Anyways, folks, hope everybody's doing good. I'm hoping you're having a great 4th of July long weekend. To all my American friends, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I sure am. Oh God, I'm needing a lot of coffee today again. Especially now that I'm working on Sunday, I gotta rush this thing, put it out, go run upstairs, shower, change, and head out to work. But it's okay, it's worth it. It's totally worth it, trust me. Let's start off with Evercade, the VS-R Solo console, which comes with one controller. And with retro-inspired color scheme, is arriving in September. So if you're a big Evercade fan, there's something to look forward to. Also from Evercade, Neo Geo Arcade 1 is now available for pre-order. It's amazing how Evercade's, Evercade's really digging deep down in this whole retro thing. It's very impressive what they're doing. And it's not only, just arcade games or Atari. It's a wide ranging amount of different types of arcade games, video games, retro computers and stuff like that. And their stuff is really cool. Like I really like it. I haven't bought anything, but the point is, it's there, it's available, and the more the merrier for us retro fans, right? Let's see here. Microsoft announced huge layoffs, cutting 4% off their staff for Xbox, affecting 9,000 people. 9 grand, guys, 9,000 people, and multiple game cancellations. What's going on at Microsoft? Really, like, is Xbox dying? You hear all kinds of bullshit news. They're dying. No, they're not. They're just restructuring, blah, 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 blah. It's hard to know what to believe. But the point is that there's going to be a ton of people looking for work. But the one thing I really, really like about software developers is that if they're confident enough, right? If they know their craft and they know their craft really well, they'll start up a new studio and go independent and start creating games, right? So again, if I twist it around towards the retro gaming thing, what's the easiest way to get into creating your own games? Create a retro style game, right? A retro inspired game. It doesn't have to be a AAA game. Anyway, I keep on saying this. AAA games cannot be sustained. After all this time, they cannot be sustained. There's just millions and millions of dollars being sunk into the project. The prices of games are going way up because of that to compensate for that. So where does it all stop, or where does it all level out? It doesn't. It just perpetuates itself and goes crazy, right? Game developers need to go back to a simpler time, spending less time developing and more getting it out there. An indie style game is easier to produce, like a retro inspired game, like the tons of them out on Steam. The stuff on that Atari is working on, it's just a lot quicker production and production time, and to get it out to market. So let's see what happens. I hope so. Any developers out there, please start making games, retro inspired games, easy to make. Get them out there. You don't have to charge a lot, but you still make a profit. Let's see. Too Many Games, which was another convention. Atari was there, and they were showing off Fatal Run 2089. You know what? That's another game I'm looking forward to for some reason. You know what? It's funny. When you're in that bubble of whatever Discord server that you're in, and everybody keeps on talking about the same things over and over again, and you get a lot of negativity about Atari games not being on Atari platforms, right? But at the same time, I'm starting to change my mind about it. It's like, yeah, why not play it on your PC? Okay, fine. In the past, I always wanted everything to be on the Atari VCS, and I still do. But now, you know what? Screw it. Let's have it on Steam, because they are retro-inspired games, right? What's it called? Fatal Run was an Atari 7800 and 2600 game. Very, very popular game. So they went one step further. So it's on the PC. Big deal. It's still the same type of idea. And I'm actually looking forward to this one, but Missile Command I'm looking for much more, which is being released tomorrow. Oh, speaking about Missile Command, folks, okay, I'm going to ask a really silly question. So the new Missile Command game, would you guys like to see me play it live? Or do you want me just to record it and then you can watch it any time? Because I noticed number one, it's really hard for me to find a suitable time to live stream stuff, because usually it's like a last minute thing, and I usually get maybe one or two people watching. So I think I might record it, but let me know. I want you guys to let me know, because you're not little 18 or 16-year-old kids that can watch this stuff anytime, right? We all have lives and jobs and stuff like that. So just let me know in the comments, okay? Okay. Chuck E. Cheese. Remember Chuck E. Cheese? Now it's going to be Chuck E. Cheese is coming out with Chuck's Arcade, which is an adult arcade. Does Dave and Buster's need competition? Maybe. I don't know. Right? But for me, they need to have retro consoles there. They have to. They can't be all that new crap out there, right? Where you have to get tickets and blah, 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 blah. Give me retro cabinets. Give me 30, 40, 50 of them, right? Or even modern ones from Alan One. Why not? Right? Alan One's making all these cabinets. There's an opportunity there. System Shock 25th anniversary release to consoles on Thursday, July 10th, which will include all the fixes that they put in for the PC version. So once that gets released, they'll have all the nice little fixes and they'll be good to go. And also, where's my phone? Power Dubs, my intrepid reporter, did mention something about that. Let me just find it here. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. So System Shock 25th anniversary just hit number 10 on Steam's top grossing games, released in only 14 days, guys. That's not only good news for the developer, but for also Atari. See? Things are moving along. Okay. Oh, yeah, by the way, these notes, perfect. Didn't get destroyed. It was so dead yesterday at work, I decided to do it. Oh, here's something really, really cool, guys. I found on Twitter, somebody created an HDMI port using using the cartridge adapter in the Commodore 64. Isn't that cool? Somebody went out of their way and did that to give the Commodore 64 full HDMI capability by using a cartridge style cartridge PCB that he just slides into the cartridge port and done. That's really cool. I love seeing people go out of the way, who have some DIY capabilities and making really cool shit for retro stuff. I think that's awesome. Coffee break. Ah, okay. What else we got here? I think. Well, that's it for this. I do have something else here. I do want to report something else, and I want to read this. Okay. Power Dubs mentioned he's an investor in Atari right now, and he just came out with some information here today. This was the first on Canada Day. Today, Atari US stock, blah blah blah, became OTCID. No idea, but he explains it, which requires quarterly reporting instead of twice a year, every 6 months that they have had before. I see a marked increase in communication and confidence in the last 6 months. So that's really important. In the December report, they called a positive guidance for the rest of the financial year ended March 31st. They then not only backed that up by reporting high growth, but reported months earlier that they needed preliminary. Anyway, in the early reporting, they called positive guidance for the entire next year. Okay, if anything, this new listing rule will drive more people to become aware of Atari, and I think they know it, and both are ready for it and can handle it with performance and products. Some of us are seeing what's coming, but a few others aren't even aware that Atari is in business, which is true. You know, those gatekeepers still believe that Atari's not even, Atari's still 1977 Atari, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, and then because I haven't done this in a while, so it's now time for Retro Rewind. Okay. Best games I bought on my own with my own money when I was a teenager. Okay. It's funny. Back then, I forget what the prices were for the games. Were they like $30 or something? Which was fairly expensive back in the 80s, right? So, the best games I ever bought on my own. And we didn't have the internet back then to do reading all kinds of reviews or reading all kinds of whatever to research to see what we wanted to buy. Because back then, sometimes you had to buy stinkers. It just happened. You thought it was a great game. The box looked cool. You put it in, and it's like, what the fuck is this? But there's some games that you ran into that the little catalogs that came with some of the games, like Activision had their own, Atari had their own, and you're sitting there as a little kid, or as a teenager going, oh, wow, that looks cool, and you do whatever research you can, and just like a tiny little paragraph that they write in that catalog. But there was 3 games that really stood out for me that were the best blind purchases ever. Number 1, Vanguard. Vanguard by Atari was just amazing. I loved that game. I played so much of it, it wasn't even funny. So whatever $30 I end up making that summer working or whatever, it was well worth the time. Okay. Second was Grand Prix by Activision. A nice little side-scrolling racing game. It had so much fun trying to beat my record and my times and stuff like that, especially when you had buddies over and you're trying to beat each other's times. Awesome. Atlantis. Oh my god, mind-blowing game. By accident, I was in the US at a mall, KB Toys, the bin of, reject Atari cartridges, going through and seeing Atlantis by iMagic. I liked the box. The graphic looks kind of cool. Okay, I'll buy it. It was like $10 or whatever it was, or 5 or whatever back then. And went home, plugged it in, and poof, eyes just bugged out of my head. What a fun game. Still to this day, it's incredibly fun. If you don't have Atlantis in your collection, do yourself a favor, track one down, get it. Plain and simple. And then last but not least, oh, by the way, I remember this perfectly in my head. Back in the day, in the 80s, there was a lot of you Canadians will understand this. If you guys remember Consumers Distributing, let's see here. How am I going to explain this? It was the Amazon of the 80s. Just trying to explain to you American folk. What it was they would send out catalogs, like the Sears catalog, right? Big giant catalog, but it didn't have clothes or anything like that. I don't think it did have clothes, did it? I can't remember. I just remember the toy section in the back third of the catalog. So anyways, you go through the catalog, you go to the store, all they had was a counter and a whole bunch of sort of areas where you can write stuff. So they had pencils and they had the little cards where you filled out what you wanted, the code number for it, and I think the price or something. You give it to them, they get it for you, you pay it, and you walk out the store. Amazon with a storefront, realistically. But I guess in that period of time, they realized how many toys they were selling, and I guess they wanted some sort of, like, Toys R Us at that point hadn't entered, wasn't in Canada yet, so they decided to build a big box store called Toy City in English, and in Quebec, in Montreal, it was called Toyville. So anyways, they had a really cool video game section. It was all sort of, blocked off. You couldn't really, reach for anything, but they had somebody behind the counter there, but it was like they had stickers and they painted it. It was really cool. And the best game that I bought from there, and is still my favorite game to this day, is Activision's Keystone Capers. What a fantastic game. Awesome game. I loved every second of it. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the memories of, whatever little money I was able to scrounge together, and go and pick these games up. It was just fantastic. I loved it. That's the one thing I miss now, is going to a video, especially for Atari, right? Everything's online. At least if you're an Xbox fan or a PS fan or a Nintendo fan, you can still go to a store and pick out a physical game, right? Which is cool. But I kind of miss buying cartridges at a store. Just me. That's how I feel. Anyways, folks, that's it. We're done. I gotta jump in the shower, head off to work. But you guys enjoy your Sunday, and we'll all see you next week. And we'll take care. Bye now.